Welcome to another week of Libertarians at Large. My name is Eric Rautzep, and this is where we discuss the week in news and express a libertarian point of view for the ongoings in our nation and abroad. We welcome your comments and questions in the chat box, so feel free to comment regularly. We may share your comment on the air. This week, I'm joined with my fellow at-large members, Laura Ebke and Valerie Sarwak. How are you doing?
Doing great, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing well. Oh, what a week. Oh,
we were talking beforehand.
It's been a week in news. I mean, hey, everyone's talking about the Super Bowl, and there were some winners and losers in the commercials. It was definitely interesting. It was definitely a different type of week. It was nice. What do you guys think?
I mean, I said it last week, and I feel like it's getting better. It's getting more normal. It's feeling, but now we're like in the middle of this impeachment. So,
I mean that's another.
Yeah, I watched about 15 minutes of it. You know, when they were trying to just before they made the vote on whether or not they could proceed.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched a bit of it since. Yeah. I was driving home, and they were talking on the news about how, you know, the Democrats made this really great case today, and it's like, I suppose I could go look for it, but I'm not going to. I don't really care anymore.
I don't know. I mean, impeaching a president who's no longer in office seems a little ridiculous to me, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, the morality of it, whatever. I mean, it is, the guy's a screw up. I mean, come on, we know it. It's just, he's a reality TV star who became president. Does it really surprise anyone?
We just need him to go away.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is keeping him in the spotlight.
Yeah.
This is giving him the attention that he wants.
But
so
really,
the Democrats are giving Donald Trump exactly what he wants. That's
able to tweet or anything. He's not doing any interviews. So it's kind of, I feel like he's probably like really upset, you know, like imploding at Mar-a-Lago, just like, oh, why won't anybody listen to me? Let me talk. Let me tweet.
It's because everyone's still talking about him. Yeah. He doesn't have to tweet. He doesn't have to post in the news. He doesn't have to make an idiot of himself because everyone's still talking about him.
They're showing it on.
He's getting his ego stroked on a daily basis, and he doesn't have to do anything about it.
No,
it's amazing. I don't know.
Apparently, he was golfing today.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, was not golfing. It's really cold here.
Yeah.
I mean, for like the next week, it's not supposed to get above 10 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's 7 degrees. Well, we reached a high of 7 today. I think we're down to 3 now. But Sunday is supposed to just be awful. It's like the high is going to be 10 below, and it's supposed to feel like 25 below. So I'm not looking forward to it. What's that?
So in North Carolina, our high on Sunday is going to be in the 30s. And we are going to be preparing for an ice storm. So not fun, because I'd rather have snow than ice. But yeah, so that's...
in New Hampshire, it's going to be 29 and snowing. So it's not that much different from North Carolina, but that's unusual for North Carolina.
Yeah, well, I mean, we always get ice storms. I mean,
yeah.
We get more ice storms than we get snowstorms. It's just kind of the par for the course. But yeah.
So fun. So are you guys not going out for Valentine's Day because of the ice?
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, Valentine's Day is going to be in the house.
Outdoor.
Yeah, it's because I don't want to deal with the idiots driving on ice. And ice capades would be a wonderful thing to go to on Valentine's Day, but not be in. And that's just me. So
we aren't doing anything for Valentine's Day. We've been married almost 40 years, so there's really, it really isn't the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to treat every day as Valentine's Day. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
well, yeah, I
sweet.
know.
you're not married yet. That's why.
That's
You're,
right.
you're
But
in
you know, I mean,
the lover
it's
stage.
I don't know. It always seems silly to me that you have one day a year and you say that this is the day I'm going to say I love you. I mean, I don't know.
We're going out on Monday because the restaurant that I want to go to isn't open on Sunday, and I saw this chicken and waffle, that they had, and I was like, "Can we just go?" And then I made a reservation for Monday just because I wanted it as soon as possible. But it's not for Valentine's Day. I just really want chicken and waffles. So my inner fat kid talked to me.
My husband brewed some. He brewed some chocolate cherry porter beer. I had a little taste of it the other night. It's pretty good. So
Delicious.
yeah,
Very nice. I
So
don't know. I'm probably going to make something for Valentine's Day because everyone knows I love to cook, but I have no idea what I'm going to make yet.
we'll be there for the ribs.
Hmm?
Yeah.
I'll be there for the ribs.
There you go. There you go. Actually, yeah, we're finishing up the last of the ribs from last Sunday. So, and that reminds me. Actually, it was actually 2 weeks ago that we were talking about barbecue sauce, and I took a picture of the bottle, and I failed to mention it last week, even though I had promised I would. So, yeah, it's Jones Barbecue. And they have sweet and tangy, and they have another flavor as well. It is absolutely delicious. I'm going to put up the phone to that's me holding the bottle.
Very nice.
Yes. So absolutely delicious and highly recommend it. My favorite barbecue sauce right there.
Okay, Jared Hall has it right. It's chili and cinnamon roll weather.
I totally agree. I like the idea of chili. And actually, I picked up cinnamon rolls because it was buy one box, get one free the other day.
So chili
yeah,
and cinnamon rolls
I've got that
together are the
covered. Thanks,
best.
Jared.
Absolutely the best.
Oh, yeah. In North Carolina, we've only now started really getting Entenmann's products, and being from New York, Entenmann's is a thing. I mean, it's just that's what you always have. If you have guests, you get an Entenmann's crumb cake, and you just enjoy guests. But now we're starting to get Entenmann's products down here in North Carolina, and yeah, they're running sales on it all the time. And I'm just being reminded of my childhood. I love it.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you're not from the Northeast, you probably don't know what Entenmann's
I
is.
have no clue what Entenmann's is, but that's okay.
We have a nobody takes us seriously comment to share there because we're talking about food. Sorry, we're just doing a little chit chat here.
Yeah. So this is why nobody takes us seriously. Okay. Hey, thank you. You watch other political news shows around the country, and we all talk about the exact same thing. We have our personal lives. We are people.
Yep.
And we go much deeper than politics. And if you stick around, Damien, I promise you we will be getting to politics.
Yes.
So,
yes. We are volunteers and we have actual lives, but yes, we don't just live and breathe politics.
Of course, and we do live in a you have you have a choice. If you don't want to watch us, don't.
Yeah.
You're
well, and I mean that's pretty simple, but I mean. Yeah, we do get into politics, we do get into news, and we do get into the libertarian view on news. It's just that, we have what we have.
Yeah. It's like the morning news, except it's at 8:00 at night.
And Jared gets it. We're people who are accessible. We're real people, and that's what this show is for. I mean, it's to humanize politics and to humanize libertarians and show that we're wholesome people, as we were told last week, and I'm still loving that.
And Maria has it too.
Thank you.
She likes the food talk.
Well, I mean, hey, the two best conversations to inspire friendship are weather and food, and we've had both of them today. So
awesome.
You're all now our friends. Congratulations, and we love you all.
Yeah, don't get me started on skinny jeans. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
So
everyone wants to kind of get into the thick of things, I guess. I guess now that we're past the elections, and we're past the inauguration, and we're just kind of in this political lull. Everyone wants to dive right into the politics and get into the meat and potatoes. I don't know. It's kind of fun.
Okay. I was I was in Lincoln, our state capital today, testifying on a couple of bills, and every time I walk into the Capitol, I remember just why I'm kind of not unhappy that I'm not in the legislature anymore. It's just even with the masks. I mean, I had somebody refer to it as the COVID palace.
Oh my gosh.
But even beyond, because everybody's wearing masks and all this sort of stuff. But even beyond that, it's just interesting having been in and now out of the electoral game. It's like you have a different view of things, and so it's fun.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you have a very unique viewpoint because you've been on both sides. You've sat in the legislative seat, and now you are lobbying and you're doing all sorts of amazing stuff. So,
okay, so I have to clear this up. I'm not technically lobbying. I'm not a registered lobbyist. I am the senior fellow, and I provide expert opinions and testimony, but I'm not actively lobbying.
The point has to be rather fine sometimes.
That's right. We have a government affairs person who does the lobbying.
There we go. Okay.
Apollo says that they're finalizing the details of the Libertarian Frontier Summit.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't remember when that is. It's coming up, but Apollo, you better tell us when it is. Better.
Quick.
Jared's telling me to be careful at NADC. No, actually, it's just I'm not too worried about it. But I'm not lobbying.
There you go. So obviously, I think I was just kind of, while we were chit-chatting and stuff like that, I was actually doing a quick search to see the most Googled bills currently in front of Congress. No surprise, it's HR 127.
Oh wow!
By a long shot. And we talked about HR 127 last week, so I don't want to kind of beat that horse to death, other than the fact that it's a bad bill.
It's an awful bill.
It's an awful bill. And if you want the libertarian response to that, I highly recommend you kind of diving into last week's show. By a country mile, the second most Googled bill is For the People Act of 2021. Wait, no, that's still HR. Oh, no, this is HR 1. And same sponsor, Sabinez. And I have not read this one. I will be totally honest. But it has to do with House administration, committees on intelligence, judiciary, oversight, science, space, technology, education, labor, ways and means, financial services, ethics. It sounds like another omnibus bill. My God. Ethics, homeland security, and armed services. Wow.
Hopefully it's getting rid of all those.
One can hope, but I highly doubt it.
So Apollo says that the Frontier Summit, Frontier Project Summit, is March 12th and 13th.
The weekend I'm getting married, so I will not be there.
You could go to Cheyenne for the summit.
There you go.
Married there.
We could change venue. I'm sure that won't cause a problem at all. But yeah, no, it's an interesting week on the Hill. Other than the impeachment, there hasn't been much talk, I think, or I haven't heard much.
I think at some level, a lot of us are just sort of tuning out a little bit. You know, we just at some point you just have to kind of walk away for a little while. I will also note that Apollo says that Representative Marshall Burt is nearing his limit on co-sponsors for his bill eliminating an art mandate on new government construction. Okay, so Wyoming, as I understand it, has this really bizarre law in the books that requires that if they build a new bridge or other government, they have to have art. And so and so Representative Burt is trying to get rid of that. Hello, Michelle. She said hi from Nebraska.
Yeah.
Have like rotating kids art from school.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like statues and stuff like that. Or, well, I tell you, if you drive down I-80 in Nebraska, we have all of these art.
Oh yeah.
Along the interstate, you know, at the rest areas. I mean, it's like, okay, so you put this art at the rest area where nobody's really going to look at it for that long, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have a reason for stopping there, and then, but we've got art, so.
Yeah, actually, North Carolina spent something like $750,000 on ensuring natural grasses and reeds were planted at all of our rest stops.
Huh.
Or indigenous grasses and reeds. I'm sorry. Indigenous grasses and reeds.
Apollo says it's 1% of the Wyoming budget. Or
wow.
Maybe the budget for, probably the budget for the project, maybe.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
But still, imagine, you know, that's a significant amount of money.
1% of the state budget is nothing to see.
That's that's a lot. I just found out our city, the Board of Supervisors, or aldermen, sorry, that's what they're called here. They just voted to take the yard waste for the summer months, May, June, July, and August, down from every other week. They pick up the yard waste every other week to once a month, and it's going to save $67,000. And we were like, that's great. But guess what? They're moving that money somewhere else. They're not like cutting taxes or doing something good with it. They're putting it somewhere in City Hall. I was like, that's a lot of money, $67,000.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Whatever they didn't have that before, so they could and I think everybody would have been okay with a tax cut and only having their yard waste once a month. You can go to the dump if you have too much crap, you know. It's
well, I mean, another beautiful wasting of money that the taxpayers earned and got stolen was that the city of Raleigh spent $750,000 on determining what the best art was on the guardrails on the bridges leading to the city of Raleigh. Not to install it, just to determine which one would be best.
Oh my God.
Yes. They ultimately decided that, seeing that Raleigh is considered the city of oaks, that acorns would stamped into steel would be the best choice and least distracting to drivers as they were entering Raleigh.
Wow. Okay, Rob Dare asked about our contact person in the Williamsport, Pennsylvania area. I don't know what the website for the Pennsylvania Libertarian Party is, but
I believe it's lppa.org or PA. Let me look that up.
They're lppa.org, and the chair of the Pennsylvania Party is Steve Sheets.
Yes.
And Joey C. seems to think that we should try winning something. I guess he didn't hear us talking about Representative Marshall Burt, who just defeated a 14-year incumbent in the state legislature in Wyoming.
Yes.
And he must not know about all of the, I'm feeling snarky tonight, sorry. He must not know about all of the city council members and county commissioners who are libertarians around the country. So, you know, we are a party that's growing and electing people locally where they can have the most impact on individuals.
I mean, one of the state regions in Alaska for education is now represented by a libertarian, all the way to down in Florida, they had a win, and now I can't remember. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad right now.
Jim Turney. Jim Turney.
Yep, there you go. Thank you for bailing me out on that one. But yeah, from corner to corner in this country, we had wins in November in the Libertarian Party, and those are just 2 of hundreds of wins that we had.
Sure. So, Trish Butler, did you mention her in Clarksville, Tennessee?
Yep. I just went from corner to corner, from Alaska to Florida, and
and everybody. But she had her ordinance to eliminate restrictions on Airbnb overwhelmingly pass.
Yes.
On the consent agenda. That's a good thing. You know, I mean, what this points out, I think, really is that that libertarians are able to bring Republicans and Democrats together. They can bridge the gap. So it doesn't take a majority of libertarians in any sort of a legislative, including city council, body. What it takes is a couple who will bring people together.
So Apollo just corrected me. Actually, Florida had 25 wins for the Libertarian Party. So that's great. I thank you for that tidbit, Apollo. That's awesome. So yeah, no, I mean, we've got lots of wins all over the country. So.
Yeah. All we do is win.
But no, I mean, it's just one of those kind of quiet weeks. Hey, you want to jump right into our favorite part of the?
Yeah. You're saying quiet week, but that's like relative to.
Well, yes. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Our quiet weeks are unfortunately not too quiet.
Maria, welcome to the party.
Awesome. Welcome.
Hey! That is awesome. Thank you so much, Maria. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
So Mitch McConnell made this scathing statement on Monday about whom? Loony lies and conspiracy theories are cancer for the Republican Party and our country. Somebody who suggested that perhaps no airplane hit the Pentagon on 9/11. That horrifying school shootings that were pre-staged and the Clintons crashed JFK Jr.'s airplane is not living in reality. This has nothing to do with the challenges facing American families or the robust debates on substance that can strengthen our party. So, who did Mitch McConnell make that statement about? Was it Madison Cawthorn, Liz Cheney, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Pelosi, or Donald Trump?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
And then right later that week, she had to say, I actually believe that 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a strange time.
Yeah.
Okay, where were you on 9/11?
I was 20, how old were we? 21, 22? I stayed out until 3 a.m. the night before drinking, and I had a job that I had to be at 9 o'clock, and I passed my dad in the driveway because he was a construction worker, and he was like, "You better get to sleep," and I was like, "Don't worry, I've got 6 good hours." And now I'm like thinking back on that, like, just that's crazy talk first. And so I was running late in the morning, and I was like brushing my hair. Yes, I still lived at home for people paying attention. I was brushing my hair and blow drying my hair and watching the news, and that's where I was. And then I drove right to work, and I told everybody, like, turn on the TV, because that was like before the internet, more or less. And so nobody knew what was going on. Everybody's cell phones were down. So that's where I was, being irresponsible.
Yeah, I was 22. I was in New York. And even though I was frontline center, it just could not mentally process. It was impossible. Actually, nobody could really understand the gravity of the situation because we were in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. And it was 3 days later, and I was coming home from the bar because everyone just was drinking like fish. And I was coming home from the bar, and I had to pass a train station, the Ronkonkoma train station. And if you're coming towards, passing the train station in that area, you have to go over an overpass, which goes over the parking lots. And this was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And the parking lot was full. And that's when it hit me that never happens. I mean, at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, those parking lots were empty, always. But those people that parked at that train station to board the train, the reason that parking lot was full was because they were never coming home. And that's when the gravity of 9/11 and what happened actually hit. My little story.
Yep. We all have stories. I mean, it's one of those touchstone moments. I was teaching an American government class at the local college. So I was teaching people your age. And it was an introductory class, and so mostly 18 and 19-year-olds. And the biology professor, who had an office right around the room, comes running in, and he starts turning on the TV. And I'm going, "What are you doing?" He says, a plane hit the Twin Towers. I said, "What?" It's all of a sudden, and then as he's turning it on, as the TVs go on, the second plane hits, and so it's like, oh,
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, it was a strange way to start the morning.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
And you got 18-year-olds saying, "Does this mean we're at war?" And of course, nobody had any idea whether this was the first one you thought, well, maybe it was a weird accident. The second one, it's like, I don't know what's going on.
And where were you teaching at the time?
Here in Crete, actually, at Doane College.
Oh, wow. So you're 2 hours off from the East Coast there, right?
Yeah, so it was like at 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Central time.
We're in Central. Yeah, I was.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're 1 hour off. So that happened at 8 o'clock in the morning because everything happened right around 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It was.
I just started the lecture.
Wow.
So it was crazy.
And I grew up like 20 by Dulles Airport. I don't know if people are familiar with that. Like close enough to the Pentagon where we were like, okay, now are we in trouble?
Mm-hmm.
But not anywhere near New York City level, kind of close.
No, yeah, that was. I have other stories for other times for that day. I mean, that was
a whole show about it.
That was insane. But
somebody asked a question that I'm looking for, and we can go back to the thing. Somebody asked a question about where to start if they're interested in running for something.
Get in touch.
So the best way to get started, first of all, I'd like to applaud you for wanting to run and wanting to change the world for the Libertarian Party. That's absolutely amazing. I love that because it's only through actions of individuals like you that we're actually going to make the difference. But the best way to get started is actually contacting your local affiliate and your state affiliate and making those contacts to make that happen. And that's the best place you can start to win a race.
Yep.
Yes, all politics are local, so
Ain't that the truth?
Okay, we better get moving.
Yeah. So a peer-reviewed study found that Russia's vaccine offered complete protection against serious COVID illnesses. It was actually independent research found it to be 92% effective. What is the name of the vaccine? Kremvac 2, Laika, Moscow Mule, Putineska, and Sputnik 5.
Well, Laika isn't that the dog?
Yes, Laika is the dog that the Russians sent up into space. We sent up chimpanzees. They sent up dogs.
So definitely not Moscow Mule, Putineska. Is it Kremvac?
I don't know.
No, it's Sputnik 5.
Putineska.
Okay, so Putineska is actually obviously the spelling here is reflective of Putin, but Putineska is an Italian dish,
Yes.
which roughly translates out to be whore pasta. If anyone
Whore
else
pasta is that's what and I'm not saying anything against my mother-in-law. That's anytime she comes to visit, we go to this Italian place, and that's what she gets. And she always says, "I love this. It's horse pasta." But I love it. It's so good, and I only eat it when she's here.
Oh yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. No, puttanesca is actually totally delicious. But I have a weakness for Italian food.
Same. Carbs. So here we go, talking about food again. Don't get mad.
Yeah, I know. Right? It's the best way to make friends. And congratulations, Greg. You'll be running for the mayor in your town in November. That is awesome.
Where's that, Greg? If you don't mind.
Tell us what city you're running in. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll like your Facebook page.
Yes, or a Facebook link. I'll share it for you. Okay.
Okay. Next one while Greg's getting that typed in.
Which two countries lead the world per capita in vaccinations, each having administered doses to more than a third of its population? Brazil and Argentina, Canada and Denmark, Israel and the United Arab Emirates, Japan and South Korea, or Russia and China?
I think it's Israel and the UAE because of how fast Israel was doing it. And if it's not Israel and something else, that's my guess.
I actually wholeheartedly agree with you because I know Israel is on top of it. I was not aware of the United Arab Emirates. Yeah. But yep, that is correct. And actually, here's a little fun fact. Canada and Denmark. Canada does not know how many people they have vaccinated because their head of the medical department has recently stepped down, and a non-medical doctor now heads the head of Canada's socialized medicine system, which makes no sense to me.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
Oh, it's devastating. They don't even know how many people have been vaccinated effectively.
Oh my God.
The territories, like the Northwest Territory, is completely ignored. Only vaccines are going to cities and stuff like that. If you want a vaccine in the Northwest Territory, good luck. It's not going to happen.
Did you hear that story about these people who very wealthy people in Canada who there was some sort of an underserved community that they sent all this vaccine to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a fairly small community, and these folks who were very wealthy flew in their private plane, and then pretended to be hotel workers so that they could jump the line, because that was considered that those were people that were high on the list. Yeah. And when they found out, they charged them with, I don't know, some sort of crime. You know, it's crazy.
So it's funny, in North Carolina, if you jump the line and they actually administer the vaccine, you're not liable, but the person who gave you the vaccine is liable, which is actually slowing down the entire process of administering vaccine in North Carolina, because all the facilities are like double and triple checking your story and your credentials because they are so worried about getting fines.
In Massachusetts, they're like, hey, if you have a 75-year-old, you can bring them in. And if you bring a 75-year-old in, you can get vaccinated too. And they don't even have to be related to you. So now I'm on the hunt for like an old person.
It's crazy. It's crazy the rules out there. You know, every state is so different. So
I don't know why. I mean, and this is horrifically insensitive to elderly individuals, and it is totally. I'm going to pay for this, but I have to share it. I just had a picture in my mind of you driving around in a white van with like free Geritol and trying to lure some 75-year-old into the van.
Oh my God! Just show them pictures
and like
pictures of my
kid.
Like, do you want to see pictures of my kids when they were babies? Get in.
Yeah, I know. It's like the story you hear about in the 80s when children were being kidnapped with free candy, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so Greg Lauer says that he's running in Fountain, Colorado, but he doesn't have his campaign page up yet. So
okay,
we'll share it when you get it up. Let us know, Greg.
Exactly.
I want to say I'm on the hunt for an old person. That's going to come back to haunt me.
Yep, it already is. People are talking about it. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Israel has 58.6% of its population already vaccinated.
That's nuts. We're at 10. I think we're at 12% now. This is
according to the United States, we're at 10.2%.
That was a week ago, right?
Yeah, that was a week ago.
We're at 12% now, which is still like, I mean, that's respectable. Yeah. Like it's been a shit show to say the least, like how they're administering it. But
it's so bad.
And the president announced today that they had just made a major purchase for 200 million more vaccines.
Yep.
They said they won't all be ready like tomorrow, but that that the fact that they've already placed the order means that there will be vaccine available. So.
And 2 weeks from now, Johnson & Johnson is going in front of the FDA so they can get their stamp of approval on their little piece of paper saying that their vaccine, which has already been proven through science, is effective, can be given to U.S. citizens. I'm sorry. I have zero respect for the FDA, and that's just me. I think it's the biggest sham, but oh well.
Okay.
Next question. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have become the first team to make the Super Bowl when it is being played in their home stadium. When is the last time a team played the Super Bowl close to its home? I know I'm going to be asking the audience for this one.
Yeah, depends.
Was it in '67? The Green Bay Packers won Super Bowl I in a half-full Milwaukee County Stadium. '73, the Miami Dolphins won at Joe Robbie Stadium after a hurricane had flooded the Orange Bowl and forced a last-minute move. The 1985, the San Francisco 49ers won at the Stanford Stadium, the third college stadium to host the Super Bowl. 1992, the Buffalo Bills lost to the Dallas Cowboys in Toronto, the first Super Bowl held outside the United States. Or in 2014, the New York Giants beat Indianapolis Colts during a driving snowstorm at Yankee Stadium in the so-called greatest game ever played. Well, the one I will tell you, it is definitely not the 2014, because Yankee Stadium is only set up to be a baseball stadium, and you could not play a football game there. Now, if it was Shea, there's some ability in that, but it would have to be way before 2014. But of course, Shea doesn't even exist any longer. Tim reminds us it's not the first one. The Super Bowl I was played in California, so it's definitely not the 1967 Green Bay Packers.
I think it's in 1982, because the second one is a hurricane, and even before the bye week, it would not have been hurricane season.
Oh.
So you're saying 1992, the Buffalo Bills?
That's my guess. I'm torn between 85 and 92. And no one's helping.
I'm gonna go for the 1985 one.
Okay.
You're saying 92. Laura, do you have a guess?
I have no guess. 1985 was that Joe Montana era?
Yes.
There we go. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know the Bills never won because they are the only franchise in the NFL never to have won a Super Bowl.
Was 92 actually played in Toronto?
I think so.
I don't know.
If we're saying 1992, I'll go with it.
I no clue.
This is totally a guess. So
It's just a guess, yeah. Oh, you were right.
okay, that was totally a guess. I had no idea. Yeah, I was totally guessing. But we were able to pick off.
We were able to narrow it down.
Yes.
And that's what you're supposed to do when you're taking these kinds of tests.
Exactly.
You know,
this was
you
totally
narrow
a
it
multiple guess. Yeah,
right.
there you go.
That's how we treat everything.
Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are the starting quarterbacks in this year's Super Bowl. When Brady played in his first Super Bowl during the 2001-2002 NFL season, what was Mahomes doing?
Being born.
I thought Mahomes is like 26, 27.
Kindergarten.
If he wasn't born in 2001, 2002, it would make him 18.
Yeah. Kindergarten. Let's say kindergarten.
Yeah, I'm thinking kindergarten.
Yeah. There's no...
The numbers play.
Yeah.
And it's right.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Mahomes, who's 18 years younger than Brady, was in kindergarten.
Whew.
There's a picture of him at Shea Stadium. Look at that.
Wow.
In 2000, when his father played for the Mets.
Okay, then.
What TV show, pictured above, was snubbed by the Golden Globe Awards? Okay, this is another. Let's ask the audience because I have no idea. Emily in Paris, a Netflix comedy about a clueless American marketing exec navigating the life in Paris. The Flight Attendant, a comedy drama about a flight attendant who wakes up in Bangkok in bed with a corpse. I May Destroy You, a British drama that follows a millennial writer in the aftermath of her sexual assault. Schitt's Creek, a Canadian sitcom about a formerly wealthy family as they adjust to life in their titular small town. Or The Queen's Gambit, a Netflix drama about an orphan who is great at chess.
Well, that's not The Queen's Gambit. That's the only one I've ever seen.
Well, I know it's not Schitt's Creek because everyone talks about how Schitt's Creek wins like every award, so or at least gets nominated for every award. So that wouldn't be getting snubbed. So you're saying it's not Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, I'm
saying it's not Schitt's Creek. So it's either Emily in Paris, The Flight Attendant, or I May Destroy You. I'm going to say no to The Flight Attendant because while it would make a hilarious episode to wake up in Bangkok in bed with a corpse, I doubt that can be the premise of an entire show. So I've narrowed it down to Emily in Paris or I May Destroy You.
I think I May Destroy You. I have no idea, but that's just my guess.
I'm going to agree with you because I think the Golden Globes would probably... Netflix is becoming mainstream now, so there's no reason to snub Netflix, but the BBC has always been snubbed. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say a British drama. What do you say, Valerie?
Yes. Go for it.
And we're right through the power of deduction. Look at that.
I have an observation of this quiz. This is like the first week that we've had since we've been doing the show where every question isn't about politics, world politics, United States politics. Like it's kind of weird because I'm like
pop culture.
Well, yeah. And now that you say that, I bet you every single question is going to be about politics.
I was thinking, I'm like, people are leaving because we're not talking about politics. But,
oh, look!
Oh, here we
go. Oh. So Myanmar's military overthrow in the country's fragile democratic government in a coup d'etat on Monday. Which of these countries is Myanmar? Any geography experts here? I'm unfortunately, my nerddom will show itself because I know.
Well, it's near. Is it B?
Or
You
A?
say B, Laura.
I don't know. A. I'm not a geography person.
So Valerie, you're right. It is B.
Good job, pal.
Thanks. I went to Vietnam in, oh gosh, I don't remember what year.
Vietnam is C.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with Southeast Asia in that, like, which would they go in order, but I'd never been to Myanmar. I have been to
I've
Vietnam
never been either.
and Laos. In Cambodia.
I will be totally honest. My travel through Southeast Asia, especially the peninsula here, is negative. I have no time on the ground in this area of the country.
I would if you can get past it being a communist country, like if you can get past I'm going to be in a communist country and be okay with that, I would highly recommend Vietnam to anybody. It's super cheap. It's a little bit expensive to get to, but once you get there, everything's really, really, really cheap. I mountain biked from the south to the north and took the train for the middle part because it was rainy season. And I was there for 3 weeks, and it was just like, people are so nice, that everything is so cheap.
Well, and Vietnam, I mean, yes, they are still a communist country, but much like China, at very low level politics, they are now introducing democratic elections. China started with like fire personnel and stuff like that. Vietnam is actually doing the exact same thing. I believe with train conductors. You have to be elected as a train conductor. And I think it's like a 5-year term or something like that. But they're starting with public, open, democratic elections for low-level officials.
I took a 17-hour train ride in Vietnam.
Well, trains are
it was awful, so they should.
They're horrible. I've seen videos. I'm a train geek too, and some of the most deadly train lines in the world are in Vietnam.
I live to see the day.
But the conversation, the question is about Myanmar. Do we have any? I mean, obviously, it's a crap situation that's going on over there. But do we have any laughing moments at this country?
The exercise lady, I think I talked about that last week. The Minister of Health and whatever, yes. She was doing her weekly exercise Instagram video, and the coup was happening behind her. It seems crazy. They keep turning off the internet there. Like, how are they turn off the internet for the entire country?
Yep. And it has not been consistently on since the election. It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I think that's crazy, but it's effectively what has kind of been happening here when people are getting kicked off of platforms. But it's one person at a time. So it's not that far from this.
It's not. Well, the craziness that's going on in social media in our country isn't being done by the government.
Yeah.
It's being done by corporations trying to kowtow to the government.
Yes. Thank you.
Which almost is worse, in my opinion. I mean, government doing it's disgusting, but corporations trying to ferry government favor, is it's the worst part of a crony capitalistic society that we are finding ourselves deeper and deeper mired in right now. I don't know. It's disgusting. I would like to see a return to true capitalist society where the people pick the winners and losers of the market and not the government. Again, another conversation for another time. Which two men named Jeff announced this week that they were stepping down from top executive jobs?
Well, Bezos was one of them.
Yep.
I don't know the other one.
So maybe it's because I watch so much news that I know this. But Jeff Zucker of CNN also announced that he was leaving.
Yay.
Good job.
Where's their hair?
I guess men named Jeff in power must automatically be bald. I don't know. That's
powerful move. There's another politic thing. Okay, what's happening?
Okay, so have some people with AK-47s, face masks, and
Sneakers
sneakers,
or
and
something.
a prayer, an Islamic prayer wrapped around their foreheads.
Huh.
So what's happening in this photo is the question. Afghan government has stopped issuing boots to its soldiers in a cost-cutting move. Pakistani sneakers named cheetahs have been fashionable among Taliban fighters for decades. Separatist rebels in Russia have just finished a Zoom meeting with their commanders and are preparing to return to their base. And a new model of Under Armour shoes, the Rising Sun, meant to evoke post-pandemic life, is a big hit in Asia.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I think we can automatically cross off the bottom two because they're just trying to be funny, and New York Times is really bad with humor sometimes. I'm going to say the Afghan government has stopped issuing boots to its soldiers in a cost-cutting move.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
because I have a really hard time believing that Pakistani people are in love with a shoe named cheetahs.
Yeah, Taliban fighters aren't like trying to buy.
Yeah, I just don't see that. I don't. So I'm saying Afghan government. What do you say, Valerie?
Yeah, that sounds good. And also, I can't believe that we're still in Afghanistan. Like,
yeah, there are now. Oh my gosh. I just saw the number.
And I saw something today. That's what reminded me specifically today. Joe Biden said in 2014, we're going to get out of Afghanistan this year, period. And now president, and 7 years later. So he did all those executive orders, but that's still a thing.
So there are now in this country 7.6 million people that were born after we invaded Afghanistan.
Oh my God. It's like 19 years, right?
Yeah. There are now 7 million people in this country that have never known a moment of us not being at war with Afghanistan.
Stupid. There's literally no point.
Yeah.
So they're probably out of.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's 7.6 million people that are eligible to vote and have never known a moment of us not being at war with Afghanistan. Sorry. Wow. I forgot to put in that part, and that makes it all the much worse.
Yeah, it's worse.
So are we saying Afghan government?
Yeah, they're probably out of money for fighting us for 20 years. Oh my
God. It's Pakistani sneakers.
Taliban cheetahs.
Wow. Okay.
That was fake.
Yeah. Jonathan got it. Tactical high tops. I'm blown away. I'm absolutely that, you know what? Sometimes reality is crazier than fiction. I mean, it's
that's nuts.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
Jonathan's right though. The sneakers were uniform, and so it had to be B.
Yeah.
They're all wearing the same sort. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. I guess if it doesn't rain that much.
Good eyes, by the way, Jonathan. I didn't pick up that they were all wearing the exact same shoes. That's okay. Black History Month began this week. There have been 11 black U.S. senators in the country's history. Which of these 4 politicians are among them? Well, we know that Barack Obama was a senator. We know Cory Booker was a senator.
Carol Moseley Brown wasn't she? And Raphael Warnock.
Yeah, that's the new guy, right?
Yeah, that's the new one that just got elected.
in Georgia. And yeah, I think Carol Moseley Braun. No, John Lewis was a congressman.
And we're saying Carol
Yeah,
as well.
I'm pretty sure it was her.
I remember she was a senator. I can't remember if she was an African American or not.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll go with that.
She was.
There we go.
Hey, good job.
I don't think of people's skin color first. I think about their achievements. I don't know. I'm stupid that way. Well,
Maybe
there are
not.
many Americans who would think that I'm stupid for that. Yeah. Sherrod Brown, was also a U.S. senator, but was white. So, yeah.
And John Lewis was congressman from.
Yes, and John Lewis was a congressman.
That's where I was like trying to be. That's where I would show my stupidity. Like I can't remember if people are congressmen or senators, congresswomen, congresspersons.
Yeah. And there's all 11 of them.
Wow.
11. Wow, that's not very many.
That's a sad number. That's a really sadly low number. This pop star now aspires to be an Olympian. Oh, well, yeah, hey, I was wrong. Not all the remaining questions are going to be political in nature.
Cody Simpson.
After your comment. This pop star now aspires to be an Olympian, recently surpassing the qualifying standard for the Australian Olympic trials in the 100-meter butterfly. Who is he?
Cody Simpson.
Your enthusiasm for that has sold me, and I will agree that it's Cody Simpson. You know it.
And I know who I'll be rooting for this summer.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
He's been a record-setting schoolboy swimmer in his native Queensland, Australia. Look at that. And both of his parents are elite athletes in the sport. So
you can
I
tell.
guess, you're meant to be born in the water sometimes.
Yeah.
We got 9 out of 11. We did better than 79% of those who took the quiz. 12% of quiz takers got the same score as you, and 9% did better than us. So we were not as good as we usually are.
Yeah, but there was less political questions this round.
Right, yeah, there were not enough political and geographic questions. New York Times, get on that.
Don't worry. Next week will probably be chock full of them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, next week is going to, I'm sure that's going to be crazy. Yeah. There's a lot of things coming up. The government took away my poem. I'm not. Expound on that, Brian, because now you have me intrigued. I'm not sure. That is, yeah. I mean, the government likes taking things, but I don't know. I want to know how they stole a poem. I do. Yes. So we've got a minute left. One exciting note is next week on Libertarians at Large, we're going to have either a libertarian from around the country and maybe from the LNC, and maybe not. And actually, we will definitely be reaching out to individuals not on the LNC to be also on the show. So if you're listening and watching right now and you want to be a Libertarian at Large, make sure you contact us and also at lptv at Facebook. Make a mention on our Facebook page at LPTV, and we will select a person to be on the air with us, and you can take the New York Times news quiz with us and have fun conversations about food and weather and be generally wholesome along with us. And I look forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be great to have fellow Libertarians at Large around the country sharing time with us. So yes, no, that's great. But unfortunately, it's time to say goodnight. I thank you for joining us, asking amazing questions. Brian, I still want to know how the government took away your poem. And you have a great night, everyone. Laura, Valerie, thank you again for making a great show.
Thank
And
you.
have a great night, everyone.
I think.
Night, everybody.